Hey guys, welcome back to another vlog. On my way to Missouri today, I'm gonna do some scouting. It's the middle of June, which is kind of a bad time to go scouting, but it's the time I got, so I'm gonna make the best of it. I just stopped by Bass Pro here in St. Louis, and I picked myself up a cell cam, another cell cam to put out here. These things are actually starting to get a little more affordable. This is the Moultrie XV6000. I'm gonna try it. It's $100 right now at Bass Pro. So I was gonna buy a non-cellular one, and then everything else was about the same price. And I thought, well, at least with this, I've had good luck with Moultrie. Never used their, I've never used their cell cameras before, but I had good luck with their normal cameras. So we'll see. I'm gonna get some batteries in it here and get it ready for when I get to where I'm going. All right. I made it to the farm. I got all my stuff together here, and this side of the road the farmer owns also, but he has people hunting over here, and there's another like 100 acres on this side of the road that he says that nobody hunts and nobody really goes over there. So in my mind, I'm hoping maybe that's where the big boys live. But this is a real nice looking area. I can just see from here that there's a box blind back in there and all that stuff. So I'd say it gets hunted pretty hard because it looks better than that side. So this is why I brought the canoe. I probably won't need it today, I don't think, but I wanted to have it just in case, kind of evaluate what it looked like down here and see if I can take this river around and get kind of behind everything quietly. So should work out real good. It's actually bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe the deer would be able to cross it with no problem, but I don't know, it's awfully big. They can cross it with no problem, I just don't think they're going to want to cross it. You can see here, it's a pretty heavy trail going along the river here. I'm hoping it's a deer trail and not a human trail along the river. Buck poop. Just jumped a deer right in there. Let's go look and see where it was bedding at. Okay, I already actually found a bed here. It's right behind this log, and it's a pretty good bed for a couple reasons. One, there's this huge rock wall that he's up against, and then you know, obviously you got the river right there where he can hear anything coming. I'm saying I don't really know if it's a buck or not. I think there might be some other beds kind of up in here. I'm gonna go and do a little investigation. It looks like there's been something laying maybe right there too. Pretty good piece of poop there. So the best bedding's been up against that rock wall over there. I'm actually right behind the guy's farm. And there's kind of trails going in it, and there's one going out towards that bean field across the road. So what I could do to get in here is I could take a canoe down this river and then come up this way. Of course, early season here, they can really bed anywhere and be pretty hidden. So I'm gonna go over here and take a little look and see if there's any place to get up the riverbank. First rub here. It's actually perfect. There's a little spillway. I could walk right up into here pretty quietly with a canoe. May not be necessary, but it's an option at least. Decent buck track there. So here's another bed. Few hairs in it. It doesn't look like too big of a bed, but it is a bed for sure. And right up here, there's just this little oak flat, it looks like, that maybe they use. Obviously right now oaks aren't falling, but definitely a spot to probably come check early season. So this area of the woods is just wide open. So I'm just kind of strolling through here trying to get through it. It's a pretty good rub there. I actually walked all the way up to the very end of the property and wasn't really that impressed with that side of it. But now I'm kind of working my way back around where I hadn't been yet, and this looks a little more promising. I think they're probably bedding the neighbors. Looks really thick up in there, so they may bed and try to come this way to go up into the crop fields at night. Okay, I actually made my way back to kind of the original spot where I started. I think this is probably my best option. I got a freaking tickle on me. Man, them things are bad nowadays. Anyway, in Missouri, you can actually put out minerals, and actually, they don't even consider it bait. I guess bait would be like some kind of a grain. It specifically says in the rules you're allowed to put out minerals as long as they don't have grain in it. So I'm gonna put just a really small little mineral site right here, kind of along where there's a decent trail and stuff, and just a nice little area in the woods. I think they'd be comfortable coming to. Just to see what's in this area and see if it's worth coming back hunting to. So, golly, man, another tick. Ugh. I ended up having to put my non-cell camera up out here. Just wasn't getting a good enough signal. Got the little bit of mineral out right there, and hopefully they walk right along this trail and find that pretty quick. So I'm just have to come in here and check this before I come hunting. So. All right, day 2 up here in Missouri. It's a nice day out. I think it's gonna be hot, and I got a little something going on in my eye. I don't know what's going on in my eye, but hopefully I didn't get something from that $45 hotel I stayed in last night. But got my Feeling Beastie shirt on today because probably gonna get pretty nasty and pretty wet, pretty sweaty, pretty hot. But going up to this lake, and essentially it's just a bunch of public land around the lake. It looks like on the map there could be like some swamp or some, kind of a marshy area. I really can't quite tell, but it looks good. There's some islands and whatnot that the lake forms, where there are some crop fields fairly nearby. So I'm going to go in there, and I got my canoe. I don't know if I'm gonna need to use it. It seems like it's pretty dry here. That the creeks and stuff are gonna be down enough to where you can wade through them. So ideally, I don't really want to use my canoe for the scouting trip because it's kind of a pain. But if I have to, I will. So starting off here, it looks like just river bottom, and it looks like this does get underwater. So I'll have to pay attention to that. Kind of watch the forecast, but there's some deer tracks, so kind of look like a smaller buck maybe. It's not real big, but definitely a buck. I'm gonna follow it back here and keep pushing on. So essentially there's some crop fields way back in there, and then this comes into this river bottom, and what I'm finding is there's some beds under about all these little trees here, and I don't know, that looks like maybe a deer has rubbed something on there. Let's go look at this underneath this big one. You can see there's beds kind of spread out everywhere in here. Bunch of poop here. Holy cow, that's coons though. This is some kind of never seen that before. I don't know what those are called. I mean, it looks like raspberries, but something like them, that's for sure. This river is substantially bigger than I thought it was going to be. I don't know what this eagle is doing, man. It's kind of freaking me out, though. I don't know if you can hear that, but he's flying around me, chirping at me. So, I think I'm going to try to maybe put my canoe in and row down the river here, because getting back to where I want to be is going to be an issue, I think. So I'm going to grab the canoe off the truck, and I'm going to slide it down in this little ditch and then out into the main river, and then paddle that way. So I'll see you in the river. Okay, in the river now. It wasn't too bad. I really just gotta paddle, so I'll see you guys when I get to where I'm going. Okay, kind of made it to where I wanted to go. I don't know how far I went, but it was a good little piece through there. Essentially, this river goes down and makes like a switchback and comes back this way on the other side of those trees. So I'm kind of gonna scout out this little pocket that's in here, and then there's crop fields out that way. I don't know, maybe a half a mile or more. So we'll see. Well, the first tree I came to, which looks like this big oak here. Look underneath it. Just a monster of a bed. I'm gonna kind of see if there's anything else here. I don't know if you can see this, but this is what I'm going through right now. No kidding, there are head high. It's a buck track, not a real big one. Huh, look at this though, guys. Someone's climbed up there in years past. I think what I'm gonna do though is just walk this transition out to this this little drainage of the lake here. As I get closer to the lake, it gets more and more wet. I keep saying lake, I meant river. Ooh. Pretty steep down there, but that goes down into the river bottom where I was just at. And then there's this flat up here that I'm gonna go take a look at real quick to see what kind of signs up here. I don't know, this is what the other side of this essentially finger looks like. And I'm always torn on spots like this because obviously you can see these trees all growing out here. But that river, as you can see, is so big on that side of those trees. I don't know if a buck would feel comfortable bedding against that, because to get away from that, it would take it'd take them a long time to get out of sight. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go check underneath this tree and see what it looks like real quick, and then see if I can get out that way, if there's a high point right out there maybe. Looks like there's something browsing on these tops of these plants, whatever these are. They're all kind of mowed down through here. So I jumped that spike, back there as the point comes out into this river bottom here. And there's some random big oak trees kind of spread out in this river bottom. And then there's, these willows here on this oxbow. And there's actually a lot of deer sign on these willows. So I'm gonna make my way through here and see. I could see deer possibly bedding here and then staging, eating those oaks out of those trees right there. And then going on into the crop fields at night. It's kind of a long walk for them, but I guarantee they do it. Beds everywhere in here. Standing in one. There's one there. Lots of beds. You can see here where they kind of walk down to get a drink, probably in midday or whatever. More beds underneath this tree. Everything under this tree's flattened. I'd say this is a group of does, and you can see they've been clipping off the tops of all these. So that bedding is right over there. That's probably 80 yards, I would say. There's an oak tree there. And then there's another one there that I could see them coming out of bedding to go to. I could get a stand in this tree right here. I'd have to go up, climb up. You almost got like steps going up, but then get on that branch right there and be able to see pretty good. Just to observe this area to see what would come out of it. But I'm gonna mark all this on my Onyx here and get a plan together if I feel like it's my best option. There's a lot more bedding and browse in here again. The more I kind of walk around this area, the better it looks. You can see bed there. Probably some old beds here. Oh, that's one of them deals there. Gotta be careful with them trees. Then looks like a bed here. So with all this bedding here, I don't know if it'd be a good idea to push in there that close to it. You may have to set out here and just see if anything would come out and go up onto this island here before dark, and then you could pick them off out in there hopefully. This tree's pretty big around though, so you have to bring like a extra pull strap, which isn't a big deal. But yeah, and then you'd have to get, man, it's a pretty sucky tree unless you just got, I guess you can get on this trunk right there. That'd probably be the best option, I guess. So the river's literally probably 40 yards from me right now, so you could actually bring the boat right up to here and get you know, right up into the tree. So that is a positive about it. Just jumped a deer right there. Another great big bed. That's probably a doe and a fawn there. Okay, so I came into this point where all those beds are, and you know, there's a pretty good deer trail. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it goes out into the point, and I think this would be a good spot to put a camera up just to see what kind of deer are moving through here. So give me an idea if it's worth hunting back in there or not, because I can always just bring my, I don't know if you can see the river down there, I can always bring my canoe up right here and grab that camera real quick, probably without being detected. I think I'm gonna put it on that tree right there. So I got that mole tree up there, you know, 1 bee stick high. It's a good, probably 8 feet in the air. I'm really liking these mole trees because look at how good that thing blends into that tree. I just feel like that's a, I don't know, it looks good up there. It's like you could walk by it and never see it. But yeah, there's anything that comes out of that swamp that we were in back there, or swamp, that river bottom, which is all down in through there. They're gonna to go anywhere, they got to come up through here. So we'll get whatever's walking through here on camera, hopefully. Pretty good old rub there. That's above my waist. Essentially, I'm still walking on this finger that goes out into that bottoms down there. Just real kind of high stem count area right here. All right, made it back. Heading to the truck now. Okay, got some food in me, drank me an energy drink, and kind of excited about this spot as I got over here. There's a lot more crops in this area, and well, got to figure out how to get over there. I'll figure it out. Okay, there's where I was, and I had to go around here and come around the other side of this water. I hope that water stays big like that. That way it keeps people from coming through here. I don't know if you could wade across that with hip waders or not. I thought about just getting in my canoe and coming across. I guess I'll definitely do that if I have to during hunting season, just because it's kind of a long walk around that water there. I'm pretty much gonna walk this private line. There should be some bean fields and stuff up here on the right. Right now I'm just behind the farm here, but this spot here, I feel better about it. You know, it's one of those things where I don't really know why. It just looks a little bit better on the map. I don't know. It's not even as secluded either as that first spot I went to this morning, but I don't know. We'll see. So what this is just this, and again, the river bottom, but then this has a really nice bean field that I could see them using a lot during early season here. So it looks like there may be some hardwoods back in here. I'm gonna go check that out and see what we got. That's one benefit of scouting in June. I don't mind crossing the deep creeks and going up to my waist. I am gonna take my boots off though and clean them out. Little tip whenever you're doing that though, remember to get your phone and your key fob out of your pocket. I did, I got my, I remembered, but I've made that mistake before. Guess I probably shouldn't go in that field. I think to get back here, what I would do is get in the river on my canoe, come in and down and through this little drainage, and park it right in there. And depending on what I find, we'll see what I do as far as where I set up at. Good old rub. Well, there's a lot of areas in this section where a big buck could live. There's some nice rubs. So I've kind of decided I'm just going to put this a camera up here and kind of in this little transition between these two fields, and then behind me here is the private bean field. So not looking for daytime pictures here. Just want to see what's in this area, and then when it comes time to go hunting, I can kind of dissect it from there, depending on which way the deer's coming from at what time and whatnot, because there's good bedding that way and there's good bedding that way. I'm assuming they're going to be bedding way all down through here, and then at night coming up into the crop fields to eat. I'm worn out though. It's hot. Let's get this trail camera up. Okay, so there's just a weed field that way. There's a weed field that way. There's this little transition area here between them. And then I put the camera right there. I didn't bother putting it up high or anything. And there's also a good path going out to the beans right out there. So we'll see. I don't think anybody's going to steal a cell cam. You'd think that'd be kind of ignorant to do that, but hopefully it'll still be there. Since I'm already wet up to my waist, I figured I'd just go ahead and walk through this one too. Right here next to the truck instead of walking the half mile around it. I don't know about this though. I could be in trouble here. Well, I walked out to my belly button and then it dropped off. So I'm gonna have to walk around anyway. That's all right though. But I've got my boots full of water again. Well, that wraps up my Missouri scouting trip. I think I found some good stuff. I just wanted to come out here and get a couple starting points. I think if you guys can swing it, get out. If you're going out of state, get out of get out there at least a day and just do some walking around. Figure out where you're going to park, what the creeks and the rivers look like. For example, that river that I floated was much bigger, much higher. You weren't going to walk across that at any point in that river. So I look forward to coming back here and doing some hunting. See you guys on the next one.